Wardrobe for the Bass Tour Anglers podcast provided by Koppel Outfitters. Go have an adventure. Visit them online at www.koppeloutfitters.com and on social media at Koppel Outfitters. Well, get those live vests zipped and clipped, strap down those rods, and stash away those tackle bags because we are going fishing. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Bass Tour Anglers podcast. Thanks for being with us. The California Delta is one of this country's most prolific fisheries. Ghost Bait and Tackle is Sacramento's best source for rods, reels, live bait, and most importantly, information. The independent tackle shops are still our best source for what the fish are really doing. We have Sedrick Ghoston from Ghost Bait and Tackle with us today. Sedrick, how are things going on the California Delta?
The Delta is actually a great source right now with a lot of the water levels down in the lakes and reservoirs. So the Delta is pretty consistent source of fishing. It's awesome.
Talk to us about, what I mean. First of all, you got multi-species. You don't just have bass fishing. I know that there's there's salmon runs and stripers and things like that. What seems to be the hot ticket right now?
Right now, well, we're in the middle of salmon season. So we have bank anglers, boat anglers. They're throwing spinners. They're jigging. They're drifting and trolling for salmon. Striper run, the fall striper run is starting. And we're even catching sturgeon.
Wow. Now, I mean, people come into your shop and they want to know what to do to catch these things. Is there a part of the Delta that is better than others, or can you just literally go outside your store and start fishing from right there?
Well, actually, right now for salmon and striper, you could go right outside the store. But all those species start in the bay. So as they start their run, we stay in touch with the customers that are fishing, and we're able to let you know about where the run is. Hey, you need to go further out, closer to the mouth, and start fishing for stripers. The larger fish are towards the mouth. Oh, now they're all through the system. You can go anywhere. So during the period of the run, depending on the species and when it starts, and those are that's all based on weather. So it's seasonal based on a calendar year, but every year is different based on type of rainfall and when it starts getting cold.
So they're obviously very water temperature oriented.
Absolutely.
Wow. And how far up do they go? Because where you are there in Sacramento, that is, I don't want to say the end of the Delta, but that's way inland from where the Delta begins, right?
Correct. And a lot of people would see that as very far north or very far inland.
Yeah.
But, they're catching salmon as far north as Redding and Red Bluff. They
wow.
These different rivers and stream systems and spawn there. So there's a lot of miles of rivers. This is a great system.
Oh yeah. And I love your point about, for those of you that don't know about California, we're running out of water in a hurry, but there's still one place where the water seems to be abundant, and that is in the Delta. You guys, there's no water problem there, is there?
You could see it in the rivers a little bit based on how much they let out of the reservoirs. But when you get to the Delta, the only significant change we've had, there's plenty of water. There's plenty of water to fish in the Delta. The only significant difference this year is the salinity. So actually, there's some customers have been catching sturgeon all year round because not a ton of fresh water to push out the salt. So the sturgeon have kind of habitated all year round further in the Delta system.
Oh, wow. Interesting. Well, now what about the largemouth? Is there much going on with largemouth this time of year?
Oh, it's about to start fall. Well, we just had a bass tournament here out of Discovery Park, just 5 minutes here from my shop, and it was probably 70 boats. They were catching smallmouth, largemouth, spots, kind of adjusting to the fall change.
My experience on the Delta, I have never fished as far inland as Sacramento. I've always fished kind of down in the the Big Break Marina kind of area. That's where a lot of the tournaments were launched from. But it's kind of startling for me to hear you talk about spotted bass and smallmouth bass in the Delta. I always thought of that as a largemouth fishery.
Absolutely. And we saw yesterday quite a few smallmouth, and I think the largest fish was a spotted bass.
Is that right? Now, I mean, where do I mean, I know smallmouth fish are river fish, but how are guys catching smallmouth on the Delta?
Smallmouth, well, there's some structure and some shelves offshore a little bit. There's a lot of riprap, and there's some wing dams and things that break up the current from the river. And it's something you have to learn. River fishing is not
Oh
quite
yeah.
Delta fishing, and it differs from lakes and reservoirs.
Real quickly for largemouth, smallmouth, and spotted bass, what seem to be the lures that are going out the doors for you?
So what a lot of guys they're definitely still drop shotting. Chatterbaits are awesome right now. They're doing chatterbaits and swim baits. Chatterbaits with swim pattern tails, trailers. Give me 1 second. I have a customer, Keith.
No problem.
All right. So where were we?
Well, I was going to say I just love the fact that, I mean, small tackle shops. I know that there's all kinds of online stuff and things like that that's out there, but I mean, I wasn't eavesdropping, but the microphone was on, and you cannot get what I just listened to anywhere else but a local tackle shop.
Right.
And
I'll tell you, I was talking to the owner of the tournament yesterday.
Yeah.
And I'm a fisherman. I've been fishing all my life. You fish. When
Yeah.
you put in a lot of hours, I guess the way he put it is, he said, some guys only get once a month kitchen pass, right?
Mm-hmm.
You get once a month to get out and try to have that awesome fishing day. You only have so many hours in that day, and
Right.
you want to maximize that opportunity. And that's what we try to provide here is, I can't guarantee you're going to catch fish based on the information I give you, but I want to give you the best opportunity to make the most of that day you have.
Absolutely.
Right?
It's in your best interest for them to have the best day possible.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. Sedrick, how long has your shop been there?
We've been open for 6 months, Steve.
Yeah, I know you guys are new, but what I see on Instagram and what I see when you and I talk, and it's a really good vibe. You just feel like it's a store where it's kind of pulling people in, and like I said, I just overheard your discussion with a customer, and it's like you sounded like you both knew each other for years, and really we probably know each other because every fisherman is really connected to every other fisherman.
Back in college, I took off and we went deep sea fishing, fell in love, and before you know it, I left college and I was working on a fishing boat.
Yeah.
I told you that story.
Yep.
And I talked to my skipper the other day because one of my customers was going to fish on his boat. So funny how full circle.
It's a small community. It is a small community. Hey, you've got a big event coming up today. You're involved with a bass tournament somewhere there on the Delta. What's going on there?
That was yesterday.
Yesterday.
Yeah, that was the Future Pro Tour.
Okay.
Vince Harris puts on. Same thing. Best bang for your buck is the amount of time you have to go do some bass fishing. And it was challenging for some of the guys to fish the river who are used to fishing lakes and reservoirs. No huge limits because they were forced to not go all the way down to the Delta. But again, guys were figuring out how to drop shot out on the river, and they were figuring out how to throw swim baits and jerk baits in the shallows, and figure out how to fish those cliffs with jigs. And they had a good time developing themselves. That's why it's called Future Pro.
And you and Ghost Bait and Tackle donated some things, I guess.
We donated. We helped at the weigh-in station, and gave some prizes away and met some guys, shook some hands. It's a great time.
Outstanding. Well, Sedrick, I've enjoyed talking to you. Thanks for being with us today, and we'll do this again real soon. Okay.
All right, Keith. Good to see you.
Sounds good.
moonshine, whiskey, and rye.